H.E Tsem Rinpoche went to America during a time where the youth were fighting the establishment. And they were doing everything they can to resist the establishment. Why? Because you're talking about people who were born after the wars, World War II specifically. And therefore, during World War I and during World War II, people in America were actually aspiring towards material wealth, because material wealth is supposed to bring happiness. So in the 40s and 50s, if you watch the black and white movies in America, I watch plenty, people have big cars, big houses, big refrigerators, luxury, smoke, cigarettes, jewels. They hardly talk about anything deeper. There's no counseling, there's no divorce, there's no unhappiness. Everything is perfect. Why? Because that's the picture they wanted to paint in America. But when you saw the 60s and the 70s, it was a different picture in the movies, because the movies reflect the culture and what they felt at the time. In the 60s and 70s, what you saw was divorce. Divorce, you're a divorcee. I mean, in the 60s, when you were called a divorcee, it was a big thing. Today, it's like, oh, I got a new husband, whatever. But like, oh, good for you, got rid of him finally, huh? And that's one. Second thing is, in the 60s and 70s, oh, women have jobs. Women can live without men. You mean men are not the crowning glory of a woman's life? Oh, you mean they don't have to have babies? Oh, you mean they can have babies without getting married? You mean you can have sex before marriage? Oh, you don't have to fight for the country, but you're still patriotic? Oh, you mean you don't have to have a job? You mean you don't have to go to school? You can hang out in the mountains in the ashram and not wash your hair and wear join Osho or something? All that was an expression of the young people seeing disillusionment with what their parents said would make them happy. The big cars didn't make them happy. The education didn't make them happy. Fighting another country didn't make them happy. Having food and a lot of money and living in a big house and big yard wasn't making them happy. The picket fence was not happening. So what happened was, the youth at that time was fighting establishment, fighting the wars, protesting, dressing opposite of their parents, having long hair instead of neat and clean hair, wearing short dresses instead of long, sleeping with multiple partners, saying it's all right, not taking on jobs, not taking on responsibilities. Why? The youth at that time was expressing their disillusionment of materialism. Because America, after World War II, was trying to recover from a lot of red lines, the Depression era, a lot of people who were not fulfilling the American dream, because the American dream means material success. So after the war, people rebuilt their lives in the United States. I mean, we have to study this in history. They rebuilt their lives in the United States so that they would have a lot of material prosperity, which equated to happiness. But the youth were saying, but you're not happy. But I'm not happy. We're not happy. So they resisted and they went against. And hence, the Haight-Ashburys, the San Francisco, the Santa Barbaras, and all these places where protests against the establishment grew. And so they call these people the hippies. The establishment called them the hippies because it was a term to put them down. Vagrants, people without houses, people without responsibility, with long hair, unclean. And the parents couldn't understand why they're doing this. But the kids were giving a message. We don't want to be like you. And so they weren't having a job, they weren't having food, they weren't having what they needed to live. And so that wasn't the right answer either. And then they wanted to go deeper into themselves. They realized that, look, having wealth and having these kind of things was not happy. But I'm still not happy. I'm having multiple sex partners. They got into Ouija boards. They got into numerology, using numbers to gain power over other people. They started using horoscopes. Those are very dangerous. Numerology, using numbers. Horoscopes, using tarot cards, is a way to open the door for spirits to come. So when we do numbers to gain power over people, or to gain control, immediately we gain control and power over people. But who gives you that power? Spirits. So once you use the spirit's power, you open the door. It's called a portal. Mandarin portal.
human.
Once you open that door, the spirits enter. So when you have power over people, why? You use horoscope, astrology, numerology. Astrology is what? Numerology is what? Okay. You use all these things. It's actually a shortcut for us to gain power or gain money or gain control or to move on in life. It's a shortcut. So you're actually borrowing that power from somewhere. You will have to pay that. So we say, oh, I got power, what? People do what I say, what? Hey, I know what they're going to think, what? Hey, I got the lucky number, what? Yes, you will. You'll get it. And then you'll get it later. It's very dangerous. Using those things. And Chogyam Trungpa was very against it, remember? Using those things, you open the door for the spirits to get you. Once the spirits come in and get you, you can have accident, or they can kill you, or they can go to your parents, or go to your family, or go to you, and you can have accidents. Very fast. Very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. We should never do numerology. We should never do horoscopes and astrology. Never. Unless we want to bring trouble for our family. Unless we want trouble for our family. Why? If we have power, we can resist the people around us. It will get someone else. Why? They're vengeful. They want to get you back. So what's better is to practice Buddha, or practice Setra, or practice Tsongkhapa, and to gain power that way. Not through spirits. It's very, very dangerous. People don't know that. People don't know. Who created numerology and astrology? Who created? Before Buddhism, before religion. People who practice animism or shamanism. Spirit worship. Yes, these are pre-religious practices. Shamanism, druidism, witchcraft. Those are at that time. It's very dangerous. Very, very. Ouija boards, cards, tarot cards, numbers. Very, very dangerous. You ask the spirits to come and give you power or help. Spirit. And if those spirits listen to me. So I use numbers to get control over you or to tell you what to do right. But I'm using the spirits to do that to you. So the spirit can control you. One day the spirit will control you. Very, very dangerous. And like I said, people say, but I'm okay. I can protect myself. What about the people you love? They will get you. Example, gangsters. If they can't get you, they get your wife. They get your children. They get your parents. Same thing. Same thing. So people think they're smart. They use astrology, numerology. They think they're very smart now. They go, oh, I'm so good. Stupid. Bordeaux. Stupid. Why stupid? They don't know. They do. They call the spirit. They call Handu. Real Handu. And some of these Handus, listen to me, is not people who died. They're demons. They're very dangerous. They've been around for thousands of years. Very powerful. Demon? Yes. Very dangerous. The more accurate your numbers, the more accurate your astrology, the more accurate, that means the spirit you're using is more powerful. The more powerful the spirit is, the more they will get you in the end. Why? Nothing's free. Nothing. So in America, that time, a lot of the people were using that. Ouija boards, numerology, astrology. Why? They were looking for something that was not in American religious psyche. They were against Christianity. They were looking for something else. Why? Christianity is not bad, but Christianity represented the establishment. Our parents went to church, the government goes to church, the president believes in God. So they want to go against that. That's why Eastern religions blossomed in the 60s. Why? Eastern religion was an opponent to the establishment. So when the Beatles sang about their Guru Jai, Guru Deva, they had their song. Yeah, they have many songs. They have one song that they recite the Guru's mantra, Jai Guru Deva Om. Jai Guru Deva Om. Nothing's gonna change my world. I think some of you might know that song. That's by the Beatles. They ushered in Eastern religions. So that's why Eastern religions just grew. Eastern religion grew totally. And so Chogyam Trungpa came in at that time where they They were doing drugs. They were doing LSD. And there are religions, especially the South American religions, such as the Mexican religions, who use special drugs to get altered states. Example, has anybody ever read Carlos Castaneda? Anybody heard of Carlos Castaneda? Raise your hand. Oh dear, do a search. Do you guys ever astrally travel out of Kuala Lumpur? Carlos Castaneda is famous in the literary world for doing Mexican magic. It's very, very powerful. And they used it based on doing LSD. It's very powerful. So in America, that kind of religion was going on too, because people was looking for everything but what was established. So Chugum Trungpa came at that time. So what he had to do, he had to grow his hair long. He had to wear all kinds of weird clothes. He had to get in with the scene and be groovy. He did drugs with them. He did everything with them to get close to them. And in the end, all these people that he got close to over the years, what happened? They became professionals. They became responsible people. They become the leaders and the people who propagated the Dharma in these organizations. So he being with them and doing things with them, instead of becoming worse, brought them up. So you don't look at the immediate effect. You look at the long-term effect of how he got involved. He was totally against drugs after he experimented. Why? In order to teach them what drugs were, he had to tell them what he experienced. But the incredible thing is when he was on drugs, it didn't alter him at all. You can see the power of this meditation. I know that's true. Some of you think, oh yeah, that's just crap. That's just white writing, that's crazy, and it's crap. No. My personal guru came to South India. He's a lay guru. Drigum Gyalgun Rinpoche. He's a Drigum Kagyu Rinpoche. And he has a consort and all that. And it was during the Dalai Lama's teachings in South India, in Ganden. Dalai Lama was in Ganden. And he grabbed me and made me go to Hubli. So he forced me to go inside a pub. He's a lay person, but I'm in robes. So I sit in the pub, and in fact, I offered him beer. He drank about 12 bottles of beer. It took about 2-3 hours, and he kept telling me to tell him stories. So I was telling stories for 2-3 hours while I watched him drink all this beer down. And he was drunk as a skunk, with respect. He was falling all over the place. He smelled. He was slurring. He was shouting at the people like that, you know. I saw him down 12 bottles of beer. 12. He went to the toilet like 10 times. Then he says, hey, looks like it's time for Dalai's teaching. We got to go back. And I think it's going to be interesting. That's after he dragged me into the pub. I didn't want to go there. Thank God I was doing the day. When I walked in, the Indians were like, you know, Guruji, namaste. And I was like, and it was like a Nalopa Tilopa thing. I didn't want to go in there. I'm in robes. I've never been in a pub in India, ever. I'm in robes, have to go in there. And he forced me, he said, never mind, they don't care. Just come on. He said, you want some beer? I said, no. It's okay, let's go. And I sponsored this beer. I'm sitting in the pub with my group during the day. And it was like 2-3 hours away from Dalai Lama's teachings. And we're like 2 hours away. Dalai Lama's in Ganden meditating. We're in the pub over there in Hubli. And I'm going, oh God, I'm sure Dalai Lama can see us. Uh-oh. Anyways, so after we got drunk, we left the pub. I was holding him because he was falling all over the place. And then we got on this, he wouldn't even go in a taxi. He said, no, let's take a bus. I said, that's great. The drunk guru with his monk disciples just left the pub, going on a bus, going back to Ganden Monastery, thinking, oh no, where's like a sea? And Tenzin is quite conservative. So anyways, I said, okay, never mind. Just let go of my big ego, let go of my face, let go of the monk CD, let go of the fact that I might be reported to disciplinary for going to the pub. So I went back. And when we got back there, just before the Dalai Lama, we were going to have audience with the oracle. Setra was coming. So the protector was actually coming to the oracle and was preparing to hear the music. So Drigum said to me, hey, I'm going to go meet the oracle. I said, that's going to be interesting. He said, give me about 15-20 minutes and I'll be fine. I said, that's going to be really interesting. He went inside the room. He locked the door. Quiet. He came out sober. I saw it with my eyes. Totally. He walked straight. He was laughing. He smelled like olive. Totally sober. I was like, yeah, man, that's what I love. We went to the protector. The protector greeted him, talked to him, loved him, threw a cup on him. I was like, oh my God. I don't even drink and I don't get that. I saw. Another time I went to Hubli room. He forced me to go there again. And he slipped and he said to me, I have control of my wings. I can get as drunk as I want. When I go into a room, I meditate and the wings go clear. Another time he told me control their body. I saw it. I don't care what anybody in this room or any scientific crap tells me, oh no, it's not possible, meditation crap. I don't believe that. I saw with my own eyes, with my own mood. And I saw him drink the beer. I saw him get drunk with my own eyes. That's why I know the Vajrayana meditations on me work. That's one. Number two, he was totally sober, totally awake and walking straight. And he's renowned for doing divination. He's one of the Dalai Lama's personal 4 divination masters. Meaning, Dalai Lama has a lot of questions. He submits to the different people to do divination for him, give the answer, because he doesn't have time. He's one of them. I saw that. So when Chögyam Trungpa here does LSD and his mind's completely clear, no thanks. Because I saw it with my eyes. Those are contained in tantras, because they control your body. Don't be fooled by lamas who drink alcohol. Don't be fooled by these high lamas who have a lot of sex, or who tell you they want to go here, do this, or talk funny things, or do funny things, or drink this, or eat that. Don't be fooled by that. It's outer appearance. Don't be fooled. And then, by the way, Chögyam Trungpa's incarnation is back in Tibet. He's come back. So he must have did something right. He's back.